No matter where you come from, no matter where you're going, here's a place where you can take comfort in the knowing that whether if you've come to stay a while or just passing through, this door is open to you. Come and let's be silent. Come and share a hug. Come, let's pray together. Come, love and be loved. From the blissed out to the turned out, from the pampered to the abused, this door is open to you. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. The God in us recognizes the God in you. The God in you. Whether you're black or white, gay or straight, Christian, Buddhist or Jew, this door is open to you.
All is well. Oh, 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 oh. When we're together, it feels like home. Kindred spirits, never alone. Let's join voices and sing our song. Music is the food of love. At this table is more than enough. In this moment, take a breath and sing along. All is well when we are together, greater, stronger, all is well. All is well when we are together, deeper, kinder, all is well. And now is the time in the service where we get to turn and greet our neighbors with a friendly handshake, bow, or a hug. And please repeat to them the divinity salute. The divine in me greets the divine in you, and we serve and celebrate together for the glory of God.
All right, y'all, let's clap our hands and sing it loud. Here we go. All is well when we are together, greater, stronger, all is well. All is well when we are together, deeper, kinder, all is well. Oh,
Good morning, Unity Renaissance. Oh, what a joy it is to be here with you today. My name is Reverend Ann DeMichael, and I'm the ministerial host for today. All is well when we are together, and that is what I love personally for myself about Unity Renaissance. That sense of togetherness and camaraderie means a lot to me personally, and I hope it means a lot to you also. Unity is practical, positive, progressive Christianity and spirituality. And we follow the teachings of our way shower Jesus in learning how to love ourselves more fully, love God, and love others. And it is from that place of divine love that we embrace all paths to God, all names for God, and all expressions of God. And as I look out upon you, I see so many divine emanations and expressions of God. So please take a look and see what I see from here and bless each other. Yes, indeed. We have a vision and mission here at Unity Renaissance, and I would like us to share that together by saying it out loud together. A spiritually awakened world living in peace, love, and joy. And so we really anchor into our mission also, which is together we transform lives that transform the world. Let's take a moment together for prayer. I invite you to close your eyes if that feels comfortable for you. And as we are here in this wonderful state together, I'm going to invite you to visually be seeing our prayer chaplain standing as we are beginning our prayer. So would our prayer chaplains stand, and all prayer chaplains stand as we are in this peaceful state together. It's with a sense of joy that I begin our prayer time together just thinking about our vision and of God life and how they intertwine so wonderfully. God life is peace, love, and joy. And if we know that to be true of God life, then we know it to be true of our lives and how we express as peace, love, and joy. I know from this place where I am standing, I go forth into my week with that understanding. I invite you to do the same. Divine emanations of peace, love, and joy for everyone you meet, everyone you see, and everyone you interact with. I bless this service today. I call it good and very good. I bless the teams that have helped put it together. The music team, the PowerPoint team, the media team, hospitality, our beautiful prayer chaplains, everyone and anyone connected with this service. And I bless Reverend Claudia as she steps up in a bit to speak the divine word that is expressing through her, so that as we go through the week, we can recall those special, wonderful spiritual nuggets that spoke to us so very clearly. And so I release this word, knowing it returns fulfilled. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen.
Well, good morning. Once again, good morning. Good morning. My name is Boyd Black, and I am absolutely honored to be your platform host for today. The daily word for today is belong. Please join me in our affirmation together. As spiritual beings, we all belong in the heart of God. A true sense of belonging is one of the best feelings in the world. It's knowing who I am at home, fully accepted just as I am, and valued for my unique contributions. Today, I celebrate my belonging as a divine being, a child of God. No matter my station in life, my personal history, or my particular circumstances, I am a valued member of the human family. I extend this understanding to all others. I look beyond appearances and even my own preconceived notions to see my fellow divine beings. I honor their unique gifts, just as I would want them to honor mine. We belong together. We belong to one another. We all belong in the family of God. Our scripture verse today is taken from John chapter 17, verse 20 and 21. I ask not only on behalf of these, but also those who will believe in me through their word, that they may all be one. And now would you all please stand as we sing the Lord's song.
We praise your name, your will in heaven and earth the same. Supply our needs, Lord, from day to day. Let your forgiveness light our way. Lead us away from temptation's hold. Deliver us, Lord, into your fold. For all the kingdom, power, and praise, with you began and with you stays. Holy Creator,
Our Father,
we praise your name.
hallowed be thy
Your
name.
will in heaven,
Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven.
Supply our needs, Lord,
Give us this day
from
our
day
daily
to
bread,
day.
and
Let
forgive
your
us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, for thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever and ever.
Into your fold. For all the kingdom, power, and praise, with you began and with you stays. Amen. Amen. Please be seated. When my hands were emptied, when my hope was gone, I couldn't help but wonder, what had I done wrong? Even though my heart was broken, there was no need to despair, 'cause a vessel must be open to put something better there. Into my empty hands, gently you poured new life for me. Yours is a perfect plan. The ups and the downs were meant to be. So forgive me when I doubt it.
Sometimes I do,
Or consider giving up.
'cause I cannot see the truth.
I know I'll never go without it.
If I only look at you,
Your deep and abiding love into my empty hands. Gently you poured new life for me. And yours is the perfect plan. The ups and the downs were meant to be. And I cannot help but cry to think of the gifts you've given me. Now I understand you needed my empty hands. Oh, thank you for my empty hands.
And so if you're not already, I'm inviting you to breathe in and breathe out. To consciously breathe in and breathe out that which has already been given, the pearls of wisdom given here now. How grateful I am for empty hands. May I be self-emptied and God-filled. May I be self-emptied of my plans, my agenda. May I be self-emptied of my opinions and my judgments. May I be self-emptied of any critique or criticism of the way things ought to be. May I be self-emptied and God-filled, Spirit-filled. May I be the vessel. May I be emptied sufficiently to be the vessel through which God moves through me. And as I claim this for myself, the invitation is that this is the prayer for us all. May my hands be emptied. May I be self-emptied and God-filled, Spirit-filled, because you know what? Of my own self, I truly do nothing that is lasting. But it is only in God consciousness when I think the thoughts of God, when I think the thoughts of love, of peace, of joy, when I cultivate that relationship as the only relationship of value, I am restored to sanity. The restoration to sanity implies that we've been insane. Just a touch. But the beauty of that is that we can claim our innocence by reason of insanity. That no matter what we think we've done, no matter where we think we've been wrong, that we cannot now or ever be outside of the mind and heart of the all that is, the creator and source of our being, that I call God, that I know to be love. Will you join me there? Because the land of insanity is interesting, but not always fun. The land of insanity can feel like that twilight zone. And if you remember this, the introduction to the show called The Twilight Zone, that thing was spinning. And for those of us who have motion sickness, that could make you dizzy if you look at it long enough. And the Twilight Zone, oh, can you do it, Vince? Okay, come on. Come on, Vince, you got it. I feel off balance already. Do you not? And so our empty hands is the pathway to sanity. And what are we emptying ourselves of? Judgment. We are leaving the twilight zone of imbalance, of war, of otherness, of uncertainty, of doubt. And we're entering through a portal in which we intend to empty our hands of all of the judgments that we've held. And we are now entering into the judgment-free zone. And if you could see that picture, it kind of looks like a garden. And it kind of looks like the Garden of Eden. There are two figures in there, that came to be known as Adam and Eve. But that garden of the judgment-free zone is our home. And the Garden of Eden is a symbol of a story, an allegory into the twilight zone, but the invitation is always to come home. It is a journey without distance to a destination that has never changed, and indeed a place you never left. And we've been having conversations over the last many weeks, and some of it's been uncomfortable for some of us. And I've asked you to look at each other and say things to each other, and maybe even say things you don't believe. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. What do I mean by that? What I mean is that just because we feel uncomfortable about something, it doesn't mean that we don't explore it. It doesn't mean that we don't venture there. And so the venturing that we've been doing is that leaving of the twilight zone and the movement into the mind of God. And we spoke it by introducing ourselves as the name given in form. My name's Claudia, my name's Gloria, my name's Isabel, my name's Adam, my name's Eve. A name that is given in form. But we've chosen to rise above form and to disidentify with form because all it ever is a byproduct of something else. And it has no power in and of itself. And so as we rise in consciousness, we began to say and claim and allow the human to give way to the divine, which we have been taught by Jesus, our brother and our way shower, to be as Christ. To hold value only the relationship with the source of our being, God. And God consciousness, love, and love consciousness. This is the return home. And as we go through this process to return home, we can begin to claim, oh, I know who I am. I know who I am. I'm spirit first. Spirit first. And as spirit, the thoughts I hold are things. I have the ability to think thoughts that project out into form and create my experience, and that nothing occurs in that experience except that which I've called forth. And so we've left the land of the twilight zone and emptied our hands of judgment. This is, in my definition, the meaning of forgiveness. Forgiveness has been made complicated and mysterious, but it is simply the act of releasing and letting go of our judgments. Letting go of believing that we could judge something separate from the mind of God. And so a definition might be that we matriculate and we go through the practice of emptying our hands of our judgments. And it might sound like this, that I release and I place upon the altar everything I think, everything I think I know, everything I think I need, and all of the places where fear has made a home in my mind. And I look lovingly upon it all, and I become willing to empty my hands of it and carry it no more. Take a breath with me here. When I value God as creator and source, I can do this. When I believe myself to be separate, I struggle. It's that simple. It's truly that simple. And so, further, my definition of forgiveness today is best stated by the one named Rumi. When he says, out beyond ideas of right doing and wrongdoing, there's a field. I'll meet you there. I'll meet you there. Ashe, aho, amen. What is and are ideas of right doing and wrongdoing other than judgments? Also known as opinions. I know, man, we hold those dear, do we not? And I'm pretty sure you need to know my opinion of things. Because my opinion certainly ought to be yours. Oh, you mean I gotta let those go? Take a breath here. Trust me. So out beyond ideas of right doing and wrongdoing, there is a field. I will meet you there. And when the soul lies down in that grass, oh my God, the world is too full to talk about. How am I going to do my job if I can't talk? Something else is going on here. Something else is going on here. And it is beyond words, just like God consciousness, which is said to be ineffable, which is a vibration, which is a sound before a word, before a number. There simply was a song. Can you hear it? Can you lean in and hear that song? There are no lyrics because the soul knows beyond the words. That ideas, language, and even the phrase each other doesn't make any sense. The only thing we're healing is a sense of separation and a sense that we could have believed for a moment that there was an other. Take a breath here with me. This is the whole pathway. The releasing of judgment. The releasing of the right doing and the wrong doing. my pathway of forgiveness has been this. And I marvel that as I am here, as I'm serving this community at this geographic location, that I get this opportunity to walk a beach nearly daily. And that as I walk it, I contemplate these ideas that I share with you here. And what occurred to me is that my path of forgiveness has accompanied me my entire spiritual pathway of awakening. That this idea of releasing judgment, which could be called forgiveness, actually gives me everything I need. The clarity, the wisdom, the certainty that as I become self-emptied and God-filled, the pathway becomes clear. And I see that the only thing that was ever true, that was ever real, was love. And that I can soften and I can allow, because in love, I'm safe. You see, we cling to our judgments in that twilight zone area because we think they will keep us safe in an unsafe world. Has anybody here felt judged ever? And what do we tend to do when we feel judged? Judge back. And the beat goes on. And the beat goes on. Ah! This is a dream come true. When I stumble upon a song, which I cannot sing ever, and somebody can play it for me. Thank you. So the beat goes on. What do we do when we judge? We tend to judge back, and the beat goes on. And then we create or make a world that doesn't look like love. But the beauty is that we can just retrace our steps, moment by moment, thought by thought, and empty ourselves of anything that is a judgment. Now, you might say, well, what the heck is a judgment? Wow, I happen to have a slide. I'm like, thank goodness. So judgment, according to the Revealing Word by Charles Fillmore, is a faculty of the mind that we can use in two different ways. We can exercise it in two different ways. We can exercise it from the sense perception or from spiritual understanding. You see, the sense perception tends to be ruled by the thing called a personality. And the personality gets offended often, takes things personally, doesn't abide by the 4 agreements that we've learned here in this community, but that our spiritual understanding is what gives us righteous judgment or judging beyond appearances according to the consciousness of love, which will only ever meet anything with love. And so I have all these slides, but I don't want to do them. What I want to talk about is how we got here. And the story that I started about walking the beach of forgiveness and walking along that beach and finding myself here. And I find myself here, and I remember back in my history, back, like we're talking decades ago, I used to walk a beach that was directly south of here in Florida. Every year I would go and I would visit my parents in February, and they lived in the Palm Beach area. And I would go and I would visit them, And I would go on these long walks with my father. And my father is the figure in my life that taught me about forgiveness. And in that, we would walk together, and I held a judgment against my father. And that judgment against my father was that he did things wrong. And he hurt me, and he hurt our family in particular ways that I had a hard time letting go of. And that I believed that because I thought that, it was true. And because I thought that, and I believed it to be true, guess what? I saw evidence to support my thought. But it didn't make it true. It just made some things that happened, little facts that we could look at. And then they became teaching tools for me. My father's name, I love this. I didn't realize it at the time what it meant, but my dad's name was Guido. Came from, an Italian family. It really was Guido. People are like, are you kidding? And it's like, no, his name was Guido. And Guido. And the root word of that is guide. And I know now that my father was my guide. And he was a guide to this pathway of forgiveness. And I bless him because he was willing to go on these long walks with a little girl and then a young woman and then a more mature woman. And we walked for years, for decades, and we had these conversations. And he let me, and he answered my questions. He answered my questions. And as he answered my questions, I began to see that my thoughts that I were thinking were not helping me. And that I could begin to let go of these thoughts that were judgments. And that I could begin to have compassion for his experience of life and for the ways that he was having a human experience, trying to remember who he was. And I could understand that even though he was my father in this experience, that we were brothers, siblings, because we were walking one another home in consciousness. And so I thank my father for walking that beach with me. And as I was walking the beach here, remembering the gift that he gave me, and that gift was one in which I could begin to release the judgments I was holding. And that as I kept releasing them, I became more free, more certain, more kind, more loving, more embracing when somebody made a mistake. And I didn't have to make it real. I could just understand that we're all doing the very best that we can in any given moment. And that I could rise in consciousness and remember who I am as a holy and beloved child of God. That I could return to an Eden state of consciousness. And in that Eden state of consciousness, what the metaphysical interpretation of the story of the Garden of Eden, the fall, and quote unquote being kicked out of the Garden of Eden was really just a story to remind us that we need not seek outside of God consciousness. That partaking of a fruit from the tree of good and evil, knowledge of good and evil, only cast us forth into a twilight zone of duality, when in reality our mind is of God consciousness. We don't need to partake of anything outside of ourselves for wisdom, but that we go within to that God consciousness to that Christ awareness, that the aspect of my being that God created that I cannot uncreate, that I can't add to or take away, is that I have access to the wisdom and the knowledge and the clarity of the all that is when I align with it and empty my hands of my useless thoughts of judgment and otherness and return to this consciousness of oneness. God as source. I value only this relationship, and as I do so, I am restored to sanity. And I am forgiven. And so I forgive the ideas that I took by mistake that said that God was a wrathful God and kicked me out. I forgive that. It was spoken in error. I empty my hands of that. I empty my hands of thoughts of judgment, of that people and all of us in this twilight zone, that we are somehow not worthy of forgiveness, not worthy to be released of the judgments that we hold. And I forgive myself of all of this. I shared last week that there's nothing out there, that we're the creator of our experience, and as such, there's nothing out there to forgive, and there's no one to forgive but ourselves. And so it becomes a pathway of a return to self-love and letting ourselves off the hook. Now, this is a huge topic, and I've come to the close of what I want to say here today. And as I take a breath, the question then becomes, how do I do this? How do I walk this way? How do I practice this? And walking this very same beach here, contemplating these very same ideas, I had the experience of being free of judgment. And it felt glorious, and it felt so good. And as I was walking, I noticed that there was an inordinate amount of plastic trash on my beach. And so, as I often do, I start picking it up. And sometimes my pockets become full. And I gotta tell you, when I pick it up, I'm a little angry. I get a little upset. I start cursing the people who leave it there. But on this particular day, I didn't have any pockets. And I'm going to go all the way to the end of my talk. But there was an empty pail. And I picked up that empty pail. And I thought, isn't that great? I have something to put this in. And I picked it up. And then I walked not very far, and I filled that pail with items from the beach. Now, you might think, what does this have to do with anything that we're talking about? But what I want to share with you is that every item that I picked up with love. And that was the difference between hell and heaven. I picked up every object devoid of judgment, of criticism. Instead, I thought and imagined, where did this object come from? What child was holding this little shovel? Who used this there was hand sanitizer. I think you can see it on this one. I mean, it was filled with all kinds of stuff. And for the first time in my life, truly, I walked a walk devoid of judgment in a land and an experience previously that I would have judged. It was a game changer for me. I thought, this is how I walk through life, practicing non-judgment. I pick up whatever is in front of me, and rather than judge it, I behold it. Certainly this must be of God somehow, because we say God is all that there is, and that there's nothing outside of God or God consciousness. So this object that I'm calling trash, that doesn't belong here, that my thinking mind is going to say it's going to be here for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, and I'm cursing it. But I can pick it up with love, and I can let it go with love. I did my little part that day. I don't know if it mattered, but it mattered to how I walk. It mattered to a healing of my consciousness. It felt like the completion of my forgiveness walks with my dad. It felt like I was free. It felt like, it felt like I was in a field out beyond and wrongdoing. Will you meet me there? Will you meet me in that field where our heart and our soul is just so filled with love that we can't even comprehend words? That we can return to a Garden of Eden consciousness, and that this is our pathway home to God consciousness as we empty our hands of the thoughts that are outside of love, remembering that there ever only calls for love. And so that's the conversation for today. We take a breath together. I'd love a microphone, please. Thank you. Thank you. Testing. Thank you. I feel like a rock star now. I just invite you to take a breath with me, to breathe in and to breathe out. I'm going to invite you to attune with me, allowing your words, my words, to become yours. I know who I am. I know who I am in spirit. I'm unlimited and free. I am as God created me. I know what I am as Christ, as the soul, as the beloved of the Creator, as the projection of the Creator. And I know how I serve. I am here, I have come, and behold, I make all things new. As I join in this consciousness that I call God consciousness, that I know to be love, that it's a field beyond right doing and wrong doing, that I meet myself there. And as I meet myself here, I am home. That it all fades into God, it all fades into love, and a peace washes over me. And from this place, I declare and decree that there never was a dream of separation, that I am joined in heart and mind with all that is, and that I abide there with my brothers and sisters in peace and harmony and joy. That I forgive myself for any misbeliefs that I may have had, for any misuses of the faculty of judgment, and I allow God's mind to descend into my mind, that I may see clearly, declare clearly that there's only one activity that's going on. It's the activity of love. I am free. I now realize that I have never been judged, that God has never left me, that Jesus walks with me, as do all the awakened ones, and that I am home now. In love. And so I allow the field of forgiveness to wash over me. And I rest here in the stillness now. From this stillness, I bless all of creation. I see peace. I see abundance. I see love. And as I focus on this, it increases, heals, and restores all to wholeness now. And so I invite and invoke the flow.
Spirit, flow through me as I open up to be an expression of your unfolding peace. Show, Spirit, show through me as I open up to be an expression of your unfolding love.
Oh, it's really worth taking another breath, isn't it? Thank you, Reverend Claudia, so much. This is the time in our service where we get to share our gifts, our love offering. And there's multiple of ways to give. We do have a basket in the back if you like. But we also have now a QR code that you can scan by just opening up your camera on your iPhone. You'll actually get a picture of that. And we're going to let it stay up there for a moment in case you're trying it for the first time. Or you can text the word GIVE to 540-418-1228. And so let us take a moment to take our gifts, just put them in our hands, put them close to our heart, and let us share our offertory blessing together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and I am grateful.
Give and it's given back to you. Give and it's given back to you. Give and it's given back to you. Pressed down, shaken together, running over. Back in good measure, it's given back to you.
You turn the news on, you get your blues on from all the negativity. It's hard to wrap yourself around what's going down on TV. You can dig it, second guess it, you can think about it way too hard, or you can move the conversation from your head to your heart. Sometimes it's a matter of just letting go and holding on to the one thing we know. Love wins, love wins. That's where the circle of life begins. It's the one simple lesson worth learning again and again. Love wins. It doesn't matter, it don't matter if we're on one side or the other, as long as we find a way to get along with one another. We can agree to disagree, or maybe even realize, gee, another point of view when you look through someone else's eyes. Sometimes it's a matter of just letting go and holding on to the one thing we know. Love wins, love wins. That's where the circle of life begins. It's the one simple lesson worth learning again and again. Love wins whenever we give it a chance. It is the one hope that everyone has to build a better world for us all. Love wins, love wins. That's where the circle of life begins. It's the one simple lesson worth learning again and again. Love wins. That's where it all begins. Love wins. We learn it again and again. Love wins. That's where it all begins. Love wins. We learn it again and again. Love wins. That's where it all begins. Love wins. We learn it again and again. Love wins. Oh, that's where it all begins. Love wins. We learn it again and again. Love wins. Well, whew, this is great. Have you noticed, and I've been coming here for several years, have you noticed almost every single time in the middle of Reverend Claudia's talk, a phone will go off, a little song pops up, and you see her eyebrows, wait, I turned the glass off. See her eyebrows do this. And then she brings it right into the talk. It's fantastic. If you're here for the first time, I would personally invite you to come back and verify that truth for me. Also, if you're here for the first time, we would like to welcome you. If you would please raise your hand, we'll have someone come around and bring you a gift. There's a card in that, and if you fill it out, take it to the bookstore, there is another gift waiting for you. And I'd also like to welcome, if there are any of those out there in remote land who are visiting us for the first time, please mention something in the chat. We'd love to show you how friendly we are, how family-oriented we are. So Reverend Claudia is having a series of talks. It starts this coming Wednesday. It is called Freedom Through Forgiveness. She's going to offer you to show you how to forgive others, how to forgive circumstances, how to forgive yourself. And again, that seems to be a driving theme through a lot of her talks as well. She lives it and she practices it. So this Wednesday and the 2 Wednesdays following that, you can sign up at unityrenaissance.org to learn more. And next Saturday, October 19th, we will be having a celebration of life for Cynthia Schonborn. We invite you to attend. There will be food provided, but if you'd like to bring a dish, we can also do a potluck. That's next Saturday at 4 p.m. here in Meyer Hall. And Sunday, October 27th, the Sunday before Halloween, we are having our trunk or treat. So dress up your kids, dress up your cars, dress up yourselves, and if you'd like to, bring some candy and share with our youth ed. It's going to be a fantastic time. And if you have any questions about Unity Renaissance, where we are, where we've been, where we're headed, as usual, there'll be a board member in the narthex to answer any and all questions you have. I was not apprised of the board member. Oh, Lisa Porton. Stand up, Lisa. She'll be out in the narthex, eagerly awaiting all of your questions. Are we doing the financial data now? Yeah.
You are so delightful in the way that you deliver the announcements. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you. So this is a slide that is going to reappear. I think it's one that you may have been familiar with in the past that gives you a monthly recap of our finances. And this will start to appear once a month also in the e-blast. And I'm simply introducing it now because we had a board meeting recently, and these numbers become available after the board meeting. Now, you may wonder, it is October and this is August data. And so as as I have come to this community, what I have seen and experienced that our finance team and our board goes through is that there's a time lag between the production of these financials and our ability to actually review the final data. And part of this is because our system has needed to be rehauled for quite some time. And so in an effort to just be real, to share with you what is going on and not to wait until we have it fixed, here are August numbers. And know that the action that we have taken is that we have hired a consultant who is starting this month, who will be helping us to transfer all of our data in 2024 to an online platform that will make the production of financial reports faster, easier, more accurate. When you come to a new community as a senior minister, people are looking to you to make decisions. And the first thing that I always do on many of the decisions that require an investment is I need to see the numbers, right? Because it wouldn't be prudent for us to make decisions without knowing that. And so when I came here, this is about where we're at. And I want you to look at these numbers because what you can see is that expenses are currently exceeding income on a monthly basis. Now, I'm not saying this, I just gave a talk on judgment. There is no judgment in this. I want you to hear that. It's a fact. And the beauty of a spiritual community of awakened individuals is that facts are things, certainly, but they're neutral in and of themselves, and that we have the power and the volition to create differently. Now, I will tell you that this is an improvement over last year, and I will tell you also that you can see the year-to-date deficit there, or the net loss there, based upon expenses and income only. And I will also share with you that post-transition, several ministerial transition post-COVID, it's extraordinary that we're here. Many churches closed. So I came here knowing this information, but also seeing that this is a vibrant, thriving community that has the ability to create the thing called finances and the thing called contributions in a more powerful way. And that's what I call forth. I call forth a year end, like fast forward 3 months from now, that we are in the black, out of the red. It is possible. And if it is possible, then it is something that we can accomplish. And so that's really all I want to say about this, other than this also becomes a time when our commitment is to total transparency. Now, it doesn't mean that here, prior to this, that there was the desire not to be. It just means that we're being more conscious about it and having these conversations. So all this is an energetic. That's all it is. And all I know is that we must operate as a sound business as well, right? There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing unspiritual about that. What I know is that operating at a net loss in the long run will not work. And so that's okay. We have information right now, and we're empowered to do this differently and to bless the gifts that we have, to honor every gift that we receive, and every gift that is both monetary and non-monetary as well. So take a breath with me here. We bless this. I thank if the finance team would please rise. Anybody on the finance team and the treasurers, I invite you to bless these individuals who are doing the diligent work as volunteers in our community to bring forth clarity so that we can be empowered. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And now I want to bring up to the platform, so a demonstration of big abundance, because Penny, come on, Penny is our, what are you? You are our volunteer coordinator, goddess extraordinaire. And so we can move the slide, please. We're complete with that. And Penny has an announcement to make about our volunteer appreciation, but what I can tell you is that the RSVPs of all of those people who are volunteering in our community was overflowing, and that is a good thing.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you, Claudia. So, all right, I don't have to introduce myself now. You know who I am. But as the volunteer coordinator, I want to say, first of all, look, I know that probably half or more of the people in this room volunteer from time to time, once a month, whenever. You step up to the plate when it's needed. There's probably no one, and people online as well, okay? And I just want you to know we so appreciate that. We appreciate you. But today, we are going to be honoring, we're going to be celebrating, we're going to be appreciating two very special groups of volunteers today. And those are those people who serve on a volunteer team They've committed to regularly, every month, month after month, some of you year after year, on a team, on a Sunday, during the week. And the other team is our ministerial search team, who spent countless hours, weeks after week in many cases, for more than a year. You can get that? Dedicating their time to do the work to make sure that we had the right and perfect minister. Yep. And each of those teams have one or more team leaders, individuals who stepped up even higher to manage those teams. So if you are a team leader of either one of our volunteer teams or the ministerial team, would you please stand and be recognized? Come on, I know you're there. All right, now stay standing if you're comfortable doing so. If you are a member of one of those teams that come every month, every week, sometimes every other week, please stand as well. And if you're on the ministerial search team, stand as well and be recognized. Now just look around the room. Look at how many people are standing. This is what it takes to run our community, to run our church. These are the people who go above and beyond to make things happen at this church. So we want to thank you for that. Let's give them another round of applause. Come on, thank you. All right, last thing. Claudia alluded to it. We are going to honor those people today with a little light lunch and some refreshments. Okay, so if you are one of the people who RSVP'd to be at the luncheon today, we will see you starting at 12:40 in the large classroom right behind, next to Meyer Hall. Okay, that'll give you time to get a drink, use the facilities, get a table. My husband is out there right now setting up tables and chairs. And then we'll have our little light lunch. And for the rest of you, if you see people walking around with some plates of fabulous Afghan rice that my husband made or sandwiches, just know that's one of our volunteers. That's one of our fabulous volunteers or ministerial search teams. So just take a moment to give them a little extra love and appreciation or thank them for their service. And any questions? Any interest in serving on any of the teams, please see me. I will be out in the narthex. Thank you.
Thank you, Penny. And please find Penny and thank her, because what happens is as we appreciate others, there are those who are working who are also volunteers who we want to appreciate as well. So thank you, Penny, so much. So now it is time to invite our children in. Will you all please welcome our youth?
We are walking in the light of God. 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 We are walking, we are walking, we are walking in the light of God. We are walking, we are walking, we are walking in the light of God. We are walking in the light of God. We are walking in the light of God.
Welcome, welcome. Are you our giving angel today? Oh, thank you so much. What's your name? Amir. Thank you, Amir. And so we bless this gift and this offering. We know that it's been given with love. And we see it going forth in perfect ways, blessing our youth and our community. And so it is. Amen. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Claudia. Oh, good morning, Unity Renaissance. Good morning to you. We are, and I think I shared this with you last week, we are in the month of October, which is the month in which we celebrate our power ability of what? Thank you. Thank you. of zeal. And the color is? Yes. So today is also a very special Sunday because it is considered Samaritan Second Sunday. And on every second Sunday, we do something that asks of Spirit to give, share, create, and do in servitude. And we have some very special things that our students created today. But before they share that with you, I'm going to ask the leader of our outreach team to step forward. And if you don't know who that is, that's Lynn Klein. Mm-hmm.
It's almost orange for zeal.
Thank you, Lynn.
For zeal. Well, thank you to our youth for doing the Samaritan Sundays because it just blesses our outreach team so much. And today, what they are doing, well, they'll be showing you, but they're helping us get ready for our Christmas season with the angel tree, which most of you are familiar with, I think. And they are making ornament/gift tags that we can use to put on the tree. And those gifts will bless youth within our congregation, youth at Thurgood Marshall Elementary School, our adopted school, and this year also the adults at the Virginia Home for Adults, the assisted living place where we offer a Christmas party and do caroling. And so we hope that we'll have many families involved in that. So there are going to be more gift tags than usual on the tree, but there's only going to be one gift per tag. So feel free to take as many tags as you want, but there's no obligation to take a tag that has 10 gifts on it. So we appreciate the youth in making these ornaments and look forward to lots of fun to come.
Thank you, Lynn Klein. Thank you. We have two sharing stars, and we have Russ. We have Lucy, who are from our Unikids class. Step right over here, please. They're going to share with you their takeaway from today's class.
Today we learned about zeal. Zeal means spreading joy.
For those of y'all that thought it was teal, that is not true. I thought it was teal, but no, it's not. So what we did today is we made, as she said, ornaments/tags for the angel tree/blessing tree. Can everyone show their tags for us? We all made tags for people to write what they want on the back of them, so that way kids who need or want something who aren't able to get it can have a chance to be asked what they want, and they can write it on the back, and everyone can take a tag or more than one around Christmas time.
Thank you, Katie. And with that, we are complete. Thank you. Thank you. Great job, teacher. Oh, by the way, talk about the abundance. We had 4 teachers today. Mr. Russell, Daniel, Mr. Jack, and Katie. Thank you. Awesome job.
And thank you, B. And so, the prayer for protection, please.
We invite you to recite the prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk together Let this be the moment